MrBeast, Logan Paul, and KSI have teamed up to do one of the craziest things that I've seen in a long time. And that's start a competitor to Lunchables. And their product is called Lunchly. Now, obviously, it is a pure 50-50 ripoff of Lunchables. That's very clear and obvious to see. I'm going to be explaining the entire situation today in this video, leaving my own opinions at the end, trying to give you guys the facts on the entire situation. Some YouTubers that are ginormous involved in this controversy. Foundational YouTubers that created YouTube to be the way it is today. But first, let's watch their announcement video, which is roughly 1 minute and 9 seconds, and see what they have to say about their product.
Lunchly versus Lunchables.
With Lunchly, you get double the amount of liquid.
Prime has no sugar added, more electrolytes, and more B vitamins.
Crunch Bar.
Whoa.
Feastables Crunch
Yeah!
Bar. RP.
That is the first thing that anybody has ever pointed out in the videos that I've watched about this and the research that I've done about this is they don't like that they don't compare the two bars at all. Obviously, they're both candy. Obviously, they're both bad for you. Prime is supposed to be a good for you thing, so comparing the two in quantity doesn't make much sense. I mean, ultimately, moderation is key in every single thing. But in this specific case, Crunch Bars versus MrBeast bars, it didn't make sense. People are saying it didn't make sense why they just booed and yelled yay against them.
Pizza uses real cheese. Theirs, as it says on their box, is mozzarella pasteurized.
So, Kraft mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. So, saying cheese product.
Prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real cheese. Ooh. We're also 30 less calories, 3 less grams of fat, and 8 less grams of sugar.
Technically, calling chocolate milk a dairy product is actually the correct way to say it. It is a chocolate milk dairy product. So even though we are saying, you know, it's a product, that goes both ways, and I'm going to get into that more later on when I talk about Prime.
Turkey Stack 'em, 310 calories.
230 calories.
21 grams of sugar.
Only 7 grams.
Another person also pointed out that if the main idea behind Lunchables is that you send your kid with a Lunchables to school so they can eat that for lunch. 310 calories is not enough for anyone to eat. Lunchables are already getting it wrong. Less calories doesn't mean less fat, less sugar, less everything. It just means that your kid is probably hungry. Don't send your kid to school with a Lunchables or a Lunchly. Send them with an actual thing.
If you look at this close up, you can already tell which one has better ingredients. All right, we'll start off with the Lunchables.
Bro, I'm sorry, that's trash. All right, now we're trying Lunchly.
See, the shade on Lunchables there is kind of crazy, though. You can always enjoy a Lunchable. It's literally a cracker, a piece of turkey, and cheese. You can't make that taste much different unless you're adding ketchup and mayonnaise and a bunch of different seasoning to it. It is a packaged lunch, bro.
We're not biased at all, but ours is way better.
I'm not biased at all, but I love Lunchables. Those are two conflicting statements. That's okay, though.
Fiesta Nachos. 22 grams of sugar.
10 grams of sugar.
7 grams of protein.
9 grams of...
I said I wasn't going to put my opinions, but why is Logan Paul posted up like that?
protein.
Come in close and look at the queso cheese in Lunchly versus whatever that is.
Oh,
drip versus stick.
Queso versus nacho cheese. Your nacho cheese is supposed to stick, bro. I have never had a nacho cheese that doesn't stick. That's something that people have pointed out.
I like my cheese drippy, bro. This is a Lunchly salsa right here. Look at the consistency.
Fair to have a preference of queso over nacho cheese. I would personally say that queso cheese is better. They're not wrong with that. But, again, preference.
And this is Lunchables. Look, it's watery.
So we have a watery salsa versus a chunky salsa. That is not a valid comparison.
I can't even look at that. With 400 milligrams of electrolytes, my God!
And it's available for around $4. Ooh. Super affordable. Go give it a try.
Super affordable, except people are going to be buying this every single day. And Lunchables is half the price. Just something to put out there.
Oh, my God.
Lunchly.
So I think you guys can obviously see, obviously there is a matter of Lunchly's just released. Whenever they scale larger, hopefully they can make it cheaper. Hopefully they can, you know, get it cheaper. That's a big point in the price difference, at least. I don't think you can really criticize the price difference. They're a bunch of YouTubers, and they're going against Kraft and Heinz. I mean, how do you compete with that? You're a YouTuber, maybe you're a rich YouTuber, but you're not a billion-dollar corporation. That's one thing that I hate comparing. And ultimately, this video got community noted to all hell. I mean, we got a lot of community notes here. And I'm going to break apart what these community notes really mean after we first talk about how Dan Tedium is involved in this drama. Dan Tedium, yes, the Minecraft YouTuber that really you probably haven't heard of since you were 12 years old, got involved and said, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better." I mean, with the spitting and the yelling and everything, it's very clearly that Lunchly is targeted towards children. And a product targeted towards children doesn't inherently make it a bad thing. The only time it does make it a bad thing is if they don't own up to what they're talking about and they're just targeting it to children. And kids, let's be honest, run the households now. They will actively tell mom, "Hey, I want this," and mom will get it for them with no pushback. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of things are run now. I've actively seen that happen at a supermarket. It's not going to happen with my kids, but I have seen it happen. Logan Paul responds to this and says, "I'll tell you what happened to YouTubers. We spent our lives creating content and building our brands. Now we want to build businesses. You don't say anything about anything when Lunchables faces bans for allegedly containing lead, but when we create a better version, you're upset and then don't eat it." Totally fair. Totally fair. Don't eat it. That's fine. Dan Tedium is clearly not a fan. But on that point, community notes, Prime Hydration LLC has had files against containing lead, PFOs, PFAs. They've had a lot of lawsuits. Just because there is a lawsuit doesn't mean that it actually is valid. And Jacksepticeye definitely backs up. He backs up Dan Tedium, and KSI backs up Logan Paul, showing pictures of Dan Tedium's previous collaborations where he has little action figure, something that a kid would actually want to play with. That's a one-time purchase that you'd never purchase again. Maybe this is $4, the cost of a Lunchly, and you never have to purchase it again, and the kid can play with it for every day. Continuing though, not only has KSI worked with them before, the CEO of YouTube's Austin Long got his start by managing the Sidemen, which is KSI's group. On top of that, KSI also doubles down and says Dan Tedium has been sponsored by a food channel. With that being said, again, this video is 9 years old. You can change a lot in 9 years. This is not something that's currently happening. And he worked with this food company one time, not recurring, and it won't ever happen again. Continuing, this is Logan Paul's report that he found on the lead. This is from Consumer Reports urges USDA to remove Lunchables from National School Lunch Program. Now, with that being said, I pulled up Consumer Reports. Consumer Reports gets mad for containing sodium. Let's go ahead and look at the turkey stack, which is what Lunchly is made. So we can see very clear as day. We have 11 grams per package of protein, similar. 230 calories. Again, I've said it's not necessarily better to have less calories. Golly, this page is red. Electrolytes, 400 milligrams per Prime flavor in each Lunchly pack. Now, right there, I just realized Prime flavor, that's a packet. That's not an actual Prime. That's a packet. Obviously, they can't fit a Prime in the box, but a packet it also refers to you having water. The whole point of a Lunchly or Lunchables is that you don't have to have anything. You just pull it up and you got the stuff. This is per Capri Sun. And real quick, we're going to look at that. So obviously, sugars is different, but personally, when you look at the packets of Prime, this is the first packet that I could find online that was actually legible. So we have 40 grams of sodium. And if you start looking at the nutritional facts, let's count how many it takes to find something I can't read. 1, 2, 3, 4. Depotassium phosphate. What is depotassium phosphate? Nobody knows. Not if you're a normal person, not unless you've researched these type of stuff. And let's look at Capri Sun. 90 calories and 25 milligrams of sodium. So right there, we have Consumer Reports for consumer advocacy. In the same report that Logan Paul points to remove Lunchables, why are they removing it? Well, if you look through, we can find that the sodium is nearly 75% of the daily average. That is how much you're supposed to have. Prime is giving you that sodium almost double. So the reason they're removing it from schools, according to Logan Paul, is because of the sodium. And Prime actively has more sodium, almost double the sodium, in the sake of electrolytes. Why are you actively sending articles that you don't even read? You didn't even read this. You didn't look at this for 5 seconds and say, hey, maybe, just maybe, that's because our product contains more of what the USD is urging for us to remove from schools. It's ridiculous and it's stupid. What has Mr. Beast said about this? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely zilch since the Chris Tyson situation started. Nothing. No response to anything. And obviously, I like this because I agreed with his response at the time. But now it's starting to get embarrassing. Since July 24th, you haven't tweeted a single thing. This has been 2 months now, and you've had way worse allegations come out since then. And on top of that, speaking of faking content like the allegations that he's getting, look at the most recent video that coincidentally a contestant leaves while Logan Paul and KSI are all in the film grounds.
I'm gonna be fine. Please, let me grab this hockey. This is Patrick at Men's Camp.
I am exiting the competition.
On my way. And since I have Logan Paul and KSI with me,
look who's there to make a guest appearance at the perfect time right at the end of the video when a very critical thing happens. You cannot tell me in any way, shape, or form that that wasn't planned. That was absolutely planned. I don't imagine it was like, hey, dude, you're going to get out on the 32nd day and we're going to have KSI and Logan Paul here. But it was most likely, hey, I'm going to leave on the 30th day. Can you wait 2 more days? We'll pay you a little bit extra so we can get Logan Paul and KSI in here. We're about to do a big brand deal. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, they're just promoting Prime. That's awesome. Whatever. I don't care. I mean, it's obviously staged, but whatever. But this has actively been piggybacked so that they can build trust in Mr. Beast audience, then to make them look like they've been friends for a long time, then to just dump a bullcrap product on us. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't like Lunchly as a whole. Have I ever cared about Lunchables as a whole either? Yeah, absolutely. I've actively advocated for anyone in my family to not eat Lunchables. A lot of people say, oh, well, if we didn't release the Lunchable products, then you wouldn't even care about Lunchables. I have since a jit, bro. I've literally cared about it. And maybe that's a stupid thing to care about, but I scan every single thing and I literally look at every single thing that goes into my body and make sure that either I am consuming it in moderation or it is not bad for me. That's something that I've done since day one. And as someone who is actively bringing a child into this world, I'm going to continue to do that because this stuff will definitely negatively impact my child in the future. Tell me your opinions in the comments.